Are we there?
Well,
You guys, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. I will do better at making sure that I know the platform I'm using before I get everybody ready to go. Anyway, I was saying that leadership isn't a bunch of, numbers and statistics. And yeah, log out and try again. It's not a whole bunch of stuff that, like numbers and giving a scoop, but it's really a lot more aspirational and really helping us to become the best leaders that we can be to help you guys learn the culture, feel like you're a part of Loula Rose, and really realize your dreams and your vision for your own business. But that being said, I do have some numbers. We got to hear from one of the leads from My Dyer, who is My Dyer is one of the production facility that we use to make our clothing. And just a couple of statistics that I thought were not statistics, but some information I thought was really interesting. First of all, we have 100 factories in the United States producing for us, and 200 direct facilities producing for Loula Rose worldwide. That's huge. That's a lot of people. We are responsible for employing 100,000 sewers or technicians around the world, and they are all being paid better than a Walmart employee, which I know Walmart isn't like, gold standard or anything for employment, but that's globally, people are making more money than you can make going down to Walmart and getting a job, which is that is significant to me. That means that people both in our country and in other countries where Loula Rose has moved into to start sewing are making a living wage. We had in the last 9 months, they have been setting up factories for Loula Rose around the United States and in Central America, just to make sure that they can accommodate the volume that we need. For Loula Rose sales for the first quarter were 116 million. And this month alone, we are going to have 8 million pieces shipped to our warehouse in Corona, which is a staggering number. Patrick has 3 people in his department who are working to make at least 400 artworks a day, and then they can do those in different colorways. They're not all necessarily going to get approved, but that's a lot of production for a lot of pieces for us to see. Then let's see. Mark had some really interesting numbers that I think speak really well to the idea of oversaturation in the market. Annually in the United States, women are responsible for the sale of $140 billion worth of clothing. Now, he mentioned, without saying the name, but I'm imagining that the brand he was referring to secretly was Anthropologie. That's just my guess, that a certain brand was responsible for $4 to $5 million in sales in the United States each year. Now, we all know not everyone shops at Anthropologie. Not everybody is an Anthropologie advocate or anything like that. But if that were the case, if we were to try to sell 4.5 billion in the United States each year, that would mean that each consultant could realistically expect, an average consultant could sell between $4,000 and $5,000 a year, and we could accommodate 100,000 Loula Rose consultants in the United States to make the same kind of sales numbers, which I think probably Loula Rose will end up going over those numbers eventually, but it's just a couple of the actual detail things that they talked about. But really what I wanted to share with you is just talking to you about you being a business owner, because you are a business owner, and the level of success that you can achieve is really totally up to you. It is up to you taking the time to make connections, doing the 72-hour game plan, which the 72-hour game plan is not about booking parties. It's about making contact with people. And when you make contact with people, you're going to draw people in, because I know you're all amazing people, and you're going to be people that others want to interact with. And when you do the 72-hour game plan and you put yourself out there, you are letting the world know what this business means to you and what you want to get out of it. So you need to make the decision, really, if you're what you want out of your Loula Rose business. Do you want it? What matters the most to you? What are your dreams? Are you like for our family, it started out with we needed some extra income. I did not want to go back into a 40-hour work week and have a boss. I wanted to continue to be a work-at-home mom. And now, I mean, we're seeing the very real possibility of financial freedom, being able to be able to go and visit my family, who half of whom live in Kenya. Being able to take some of the trips and have some of the experiences that we want to have with our children, and it's you need to kind of have a vision for yourself. What things do you want out of Loula Rose, and what are you willing to put into it to get those things out? Jeff Stutz spoke with us, and he made the comment, like, what does your default future look like? So what would status quo look like in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years down the road if you don't do anything? But and then I want to challenge you to think about what your future could look like if you really do invest yourself in your business in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years down the road. I drove to the airport on Sunday morning with Brittany Comp, who is many generations above us in our team tree, and her check for April was $29,000, which that could be somebody's annual income. But that's the kind of thing that is actually within reach for you with Loula Rose. If we look at how much we potentially could grow, there's still a whole lot of people that could come into this market and could come into this business and be on your team if that's something that you want to go after. And shoot, I guess I'd take $29,000. That would be okay for a month. Another thing that I really took away from leadership was to think about the positive things that I have influencing me and influencing my business. You need positive fuel. So we heard from Les Brown as well, who's a motivational speaker. And he was, he put it on the line, like, you need to be listening to something positive for an hour a day. I'm like, okay, I don't know when that's going to happen. And then you need to be reading 15 to 20 pages of something that is going to positively influence your life and your business every day. I don't know where that hour, I think I could have something playing in the background. I think there's a way to work that in to your life and your business and kids running around and all the rest of it. But think about the positive things that you're fueling yourself with, and how you're gonna positively fuel your business. Are there blogs? Are there books? Are there speakers? What music are you listening to? Things that what energy are you bringing into your home and into your workplace, because that's where we're all working on Loula Rose. I just want to challenge you guys to think about that. And a big thing, and nobody said anything about this at leadership, but where are you spending your time on social media? I know that there are a lot of really negative and kind of just whiny Facebook groups and chat rooms. Wait, oh my gosh, did I just age myself? No one goes on chat rooms anymore. There are a lot of really negative places that you could choose to spend your time. I am going to be really pretty harsh on wiping out negativity on our team page. I don't want that. If you have something that you need to talk about, please call me, call your direct sponsor. I'm not going to say, no, don't tell me things that make you unhappy. That's not who I am at all. I want you to be able to air your grievances, but don't put it out in the public forum. That's not the place for it. And if you say something, then chances are you're going to bring 30 other people down with you. So talk to your sponsor or talk to me. And think about where you're spending your time in social media, because that's a place that could be used powerfully for good or for evil. And then you hear Loula Rose talk all the time about your why. So think about your why. Everyone's why is is kind of a moving target. But Les Brown, again, said this one little thing that really stuck with me. He said, if you know your why for living, you can conquer any how. So if you're thinking, okay, I want to quit my job and I want to stay home with my kids and I want to work from home. If that's your why, then the how is going to fall into place. If your why is, I really, really need a vacation with my husband. Well, I mean, you could qualify for the cruise and get one for free. That was not a plug that I had planned, I promise. But you could do that. You could say, I'm going to work my tail off and I'm going to make May a great sales month or June a great sales month. And we're going to save some of that money and we're going to go on a vacation at the end of summer or whatever. Whatever it is, know why you're doing what you're doing. And that will make everything else fall into place. There will be no how that you can't conquer. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to move to the questions. Is anybody still here? I'm going to look at the questions that some people put on Facebook earlier today. This is very weird. I'm talking in a vacuum. I think I'm going to look into Mandy's Blue Jeans app so I can see your cute little faces, and I know that you're at least alive. Okay, so let's see. Where is the question part? Sorry, guys. Should have had this open, although my phone would have fallen asleep. Okay. Jen Warsall asked, what is the current process for onboarding new consultants? Jen, if you are referring to documents, you still need to do the agreement, the onboarding checklist, voided check, and okay, hi Jenny. Thank you. So the agreement, the voided check, onboarding checklist, since everybody's doing the onboarding package, you don't need to do, onboarding checklist is where you would choose your package. So voided check and agreement. They need to have clicked the link before sending that paperwork in so that they can send it in with their consultant ID. I hope that answers your question. If not, text me. How is the bonus calculated for sponsors and trainers? Good question. Okay, for everyone that you are sponsoring, you get 5% on their wholesale volume. So if you order $3,000, your sponsor gets 5% of that $3,000 order. If you have someone underneath you who has a team member underneath them, you get 3% on that second generation. And it's 3% for everyone below your direct sponsoree. When you become a trainer, you get a point in the leadership pool. And a trainer, Isaac just said tell him what a trainer is. He's so smart. A trainer is anybody who has 10 people on their team, but they have to have 3 direct sponsorees. So if you have 10 total people, but 3 people directly underneath you, you are a trainer. When you become a trainer, you still get all of the 5% or 3% from your team, but you also get a point in the leadership pool, which is equivalent to between $500 and $600 each month, an additional amount of money each month. Should I go beyond that, or do we have other questions? So I'm getting very, very close to becoming a coach, which is super exciting, which means that I will have 3 trainers underneath me. And when my trainers become trainers, I will no longer get the 3% on the people who are below my direct trainers. I will only get an additional point in the leadership pool. And then I get 1% of all of the people who are below my direct trainers. I hope that makes sense. So that is a little bit about the bonus structure. The requirements to become a trainer, I already gave you that. But in addition to the 10 people, you also need to be ordering 175 pieces a month. And I don't think if you're holding 4 parties a month, 175 pieces shouldn't be a huge deal. What type of training am I as a sponsor required to pass on to my newly onboarded consultants? I think the most important thing that you can pass on to your new consultants and to anybody on your team is what they refer to as the Loula Rose culture, which means that you are going at this with the aim of creating freedom, serving people, and strengthening family. You know, you guys have heard our motto over and over again, our mission statement really over and over again. We want to be people who are blessing lives, and your life is going to be blessed as well. But I think the most important thing is to make sure that they understand that what they're getting into is not just like a get rich quick scheme. It is it's work, and it is we require a little more than just buying your product. You want to be on board with what this company believes, because I really feel like the more you are invested in making other people's lives better, the more your business is going to grow. That's what I've seen anyway. I feel like that the investment in other people, there is a reciprocal effect, and it can't be a bad thing. And then Jen, we can talk some more about that too, because there are a lot of questions, and I'm hoping to get a lot more paperwork together now that I have somebody helping me with taking pictures and shipping and that kind of thing. So I will I'll be getting some other stuff, questions like, should I have an LLC, and talk to me about tax in Audrey and all that kind of stuff. So touch base with me as well, and if there are more specific questions that you have, please let me know and I'll answer them. Vicky, time management. What happens during a VIP sale online pop-up? Are you constantly checking your phone for comments? How do you manage checking and commenting in a timely manner and going about your usual day? Okay, so a VIP sale and online sale. I feel like the first 2 to 3 hours in a sale are when the most activity happens and the most questions are asked, the most sales are made. And I will load my albums and immediately go back to the first album that I loaded, scroll through and look for questions and comments, and then just go through each album and look for questions. I do try to make it pretty clear that if people tag me, I am more likely to see things right away, and it's easier for me to keep track of stuff, but that never happens. People don't listen to instructions. So I would say, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, that loading a party at night, when you can say, I put one up tonight at 7, I could realistically stay up till 11 pairing things for people, answering questions, getting close-ups, that kind of stuff. But that 4 hours of time is probably my biggest investment as far as running the party. There's the investment of photos and invoicing and shipping after the fact, but those 4 hours are kind of crucial as far as helping your guests find what they need. So I think I'd recommend going ahead and trying to load in the evenings if you can, especially with kids. Shipping easy. What plan do we recommend? I'll get that for you. He says we pay $50.
Ship over. Let's say get 500 packages. We don't do close. We don't do 500.
I'm not. So he says the $50 package is what we have. If anybody else has any other input on that, go ahead and add your comments. Vicky, price lists, yes or no? I kind of go back and forth on this. Brittany Fowler, my sponsor, says not to have, or does not have, a price list at her parties usually. But I feel like sometimes people regard me with more suspicion if I don't have the prices. Like they think I'm trying to be sneaky, and like they'll fall in love with something and then I tell them how much it costs, kind of a thing. So I lately I have been taking a price list because I don't want to. I want to be upfront and transparent. Not that Brittany's not or anything like that, but she had seen a lot of really good results from not having a price list. I would just as soon not have to have people side eye me because I don't have a price list. So I take one with me. Okay, that's all the questions I have. Does anyone have anything else? Amber Taylor, my birthday is December 7th. My middle name is Elizabeth. You asked, I'll tell you. Anything else? Yes, no? No, I'm going to double check on our team page and see if anybody's there. Just like, what happened to the webinar? Okay, that's all I've got. I will be putting on, is that you, Amber? I will be putting together a, oh, you're welcome, Vicki. I'll be putting together a webinar for being a sponsor, and I'll kind of go into a little more depth on the things that you would need to have, or the things that you want to make available to your new teammates. Any update on how quickly the queue is going to be moving? They are right now onboarding 200 a day, and it looks like they're shipping like within 1 to 2 days. And yes, the queue is moving very fast. I mean, this month I'm like, every time I turn around, someone else is joining our team, and that is so exciting. And not just joining our team, but actually getting onboarded. So they're going to have product, which is insane. I know Arden was the most recent. She was onboarded today, so that's exciting. Anything else? Thanks for putting it on your calendar, Amber. You can be the team creeper. I had a thought for a second. Oh, you guys, you know what else? Coming from home office, I know that the last month-ish has been rocky, but being there this time and having been there in January, you can tell you could tell there's a difference. They have an entire team working on damages. So they're just answering our damage emails and making credit card reimbursements. They have a switchboard team. You guys, when I went in January, they had Bertha sitting behind a desk in home office, and she was the switchboard. Now they have like 6 people on the switchboard. They have an onboarding team. So people who are just doing that, they're not trying to have consultant support, answer your phone calls, and do onboarding, and try to make candles in the background and do whatever. They are working really hard on streamlining things and making sure that our needs are being met. And I know it's been rocky, but I can assure you, from spending time with the owners of the company and with the top leaders in the company, that they are working very, very hard to make sure that your job is not difficult, that the trickiest thing you have to deal with is loading and unloading your car for pop-ups. So please know that they are working. And if you have stuff that you need to get off your chest, if you need to vent, please call me. And I'm not going to say my number here because I think people can watch this just anywhere, which is weird, but if you, hey, go for it. Okay, Jenny just asked me another question. When someone is interested and asks for information, how many times do you follow up before giving up? 1 time. You don't want to chase people into this business by any stretch of the imagination. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of reward. I guarantee you that. But I would not. I let them go if they don't. And sometimes, Jenny, people will come back. I mean, case in point, you yeah, we talked to you about it last July, and it took you a couple, well, you had a baby, but anyway, sometimes people need to think about it, and then they'll turn around and come back to you. But I don't spend a lot of time following up with people. I give them a whole ton of information at the front end so they know what to make of it, and I give them numbers right up front. But I will right back in a week or so and say, hey, just wondering if you had any questions for me. I don't want to harass you, just following up, you know, and that's about it. If you don't hear from them, that's it. Okay. Home office shipping. If my launch is around 10 days after, I hope to get my call. Should I expedite my additional orders? No. I know you did. Jenny just said she joined as soon as possible, and she did. I don't think you, and can the person who asked about shipping, can you tell me who's asking so I know where you live? Or tell me where you live? Tell me who you are and where you live. That's anybody? Anybody? There's a lag on the questions. So actually, Susan Malillo, who's on our team, and oh, Vicki, hi. Okay. She was onboarded last week, and her additional orders arrived before her initial order. It might just be easier for them to pull that stuff really fast and get it out because it was a smaller order. If you're in Illinois, then you're like straight up from where we are. No, you're a little to the east. I would say that your shipping is probably going to take about 3 days from leaving the warehouse. I don't think you're going to need to bother with expedited shipping. There. No, ask a lot of questions. Lots of questions mean that you're engaged. I'll take it. Anyone else? I am going to have to change this. I can't just sit here and talk at myself. It's really weird. Okay. Guys, I will be doing the next webinar and now that I have help, I can do them like all the time. It's going to be so fun. The next webinar is going to be on building your team and being a support person as a sponsor, and moving into trainer, and moving into coach, and moving into mentor, because you've all got it in you. You're going to be someone that people want to follow. So I will let you know as soon as I can get that together. We are leaving for Arizona next Thursday morning, and I will be MIA from Thursday to Tuesday because I'm in my sister-in-law's wedding, and it's a huge deal. And I'm very excited, but I would love to spend as much time helping you however I can before I go. To that end, I'm going to say goodnight, and I will talk to y'all soon. Love ya.